I have a $7 million Amazon store. I got 12 employees. We're going to break records for margin and ROI this year. I think we're going to do about 700,000 plus in profit, closer to 750. I work about 1 to 2 hours per week on the store. Yeah, and first of all, it's not that I don't work anymore, it's that I don't work on my Amazon store because we've hired and trained so well, and it's not so much my store on a day-to-day anymore. My internal company store is Fire Tiger. It's run by my employees in the Philippines, and they have culture, they have fun, they're incentivized, so they're running the store. If I were to say the best use of my hour per week, it's to inspire the top people in my company. Well, I'll reach out to everybody in the company and check in, see how they're doing, but really that's the responsibility of the COO, the Chief Operating Officer, Lou. Really makes a family, fun, respectable atmosphere in the company. If I could do one thing for the week, it is to meet with Lou and inspire her and make sure we're aligned on the vision of the company. And at this point, we're a little over 4 years running. I'd say 2 years with like the existing 12-person team. It's really Lou's vision now. She understands where we're going, how to get there, and I just kind of plant little seeds, or I just ask her what she wants to do with the company, and I just help her kind of get that down on goals and paper and incentives. Those are the kind of meetings we have each week. Half the time it's me coaching Lou up on some personal stuff in her life, or how to get out of her own way, how to become a better manager.
I will know this, and I'm sure many people sitting here will know it. It's like, hey man, I talk to my staff, I tell them my game plan, or I tell them my ideas, and then it never happens. How do you deal with that?
That is a very good question, because it did not always feel like this. Like, the reason this can be like this is because we have such a good team built and we understand how to work with each other. I would say the vast majority of the people watching that do have remote employees might not have gotten to the point where you have one that you can really trust and that really just knows how to execute for you. So hiring is important, but also like your time, love, and effort into that person and make them your second brain. So that's my way of doing it. You got to get that one that when you tell them, like, they kind of know how you work, they know what they want to see.
There's a saying by Tony Robbins: if you want to change your life, change your standards. And I believe that in regards to business as well. If you want to change your team, raise your standards. Talk to me about standards within your business. It sounds like you don't do very much, but when you're talking about book reports, detail and timesheets, like, talk me through the nuanced parts of it where like most people would think you're maybe like really OCD, or like, wow, most people don't do that in the business. How does that business operate? I'm not saying you do it, but the business itself operates.
First, I had to fail to see a company get created that was nothing like what made me successful. At the top, $11 million company, not making money, looking at everybody in it, they don't know anything that made me successful in Amazon. It's crazy. They're just buying and selling. So I said, if I were to impart on my company the top things that made me successful in Amazon, what are they? I was like, all right, what was I doing when I first started, like when I was just scanning products? Well, I was extremely invested in each product. I freaking bought a product. I wanted to know if it's sold. So how can I systematize that in a corporation? Well, it's not going to be perfect like that. They're not going to care just like I did, but that's a report on a product. Well, we kind of thought of that systematically and was like, okay, they have to source product. They've got that. They know how to like search for products. They have to, 5 to 10 reports per day on products that sold. And we're going to make them little dashboards. Their products get tagged as a supplier and inventory lab, and they can see how many products they have in our company, which ones are selling, they can filter and stuff like that. So what did we just do there? We made a little mini business owner of a sourcer that kind of was very similar to me, and they're incentivized properly too. They're getting paid bonuses based on how well their products do and things like that. And it was pretty rocky installing this, and we were thinking, we're like, is this actually going to work? And many things you would try to install as a company, like, they do fall off and they do end up being nothing burgers, and they do end up being like kind of a system that didn't actually improve anything. But then you keep the best ones, and those order reviews, I'm still astonished when I look into my company and we have successful sourcers that are way better than me at sourcing now, and they're still doing their order reviews. That's how disciplined they are. And like, I'm thinking of myself, I'm thinking of many people. The second you get successful and you have all these systems that you had to do, and you know you're the shit, and that your boss and your owners, they don't want to lose you. So I don't have to do the systems anymore. I'm just going to source. We have none of that attitude. And I think it's because, from day one, high expectations on what it means to be part of our company, and a lot of love and respect. Like, Lou is an extension of me now, and Lou is constantly just asking people how they're doing. They're having in-person meetings in the Philippines, on the phone, Zoom calls, checking in. So love, respect, systems, it all comes together.
Okay, so I just want to take a quick moment to say, if you are struggling to find find deals and struggling for time, which is a classic thing in this business, have a think about getting a virtual assistant. They cost just $3 per hour. And you know what? We have trained VAs ready to go. They're going to help you out in scaling your business. We support you for 12 weeks and we charge a one-time fee, and they can change the game. There is a reason why we've placed over 750 VAs with sellers just like you. Have a look at the link down below. Check out the Fast Track FBA VA Academy today. Most people who do Amazon, they're like, man, I just want to buy stuff, sell it. You're talking about systems, processes, accountability. You don't need that. You can just buy low, sell high. What do you think?
I don't think a lot of you guys are going to like my answer here. Those days of Amazon are gone. If you don't want to come into Amazon and become a risk analyst, essentially, or create a team of risk analysts, people that actually think about these products past this Keepa looks good, or past like, dude, 2021, 2020, those days are gone. I was lucky enough to be in them, but guess what happened? My company imploded the second it got hard because we didn't have real risk analysts. Now, here's the good news. When I'm saying risk analyst, it sounds like some crazy tough thing, but you're just getting the hang of, is this $50 shoe, does it have a really good chance of selling for $90? And if you can get the hang of that, and you can get that 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 times, you have a business in Amazon that is like completely nimble, has no fixed costs. You can downsize when the market gets really hard. But when the market's hard, there's liquidations everywhere. Like if you imagine things imploding in the United States or worldwide, people are going to be making dumber and dumber and dumber decisions. We're doing arbitrage here. We're flipping products. So we're looking for dumb decisions to capitalize on. So if somebody, has to go bankrupt and liquidate their whole inventory for 10%, you're there to pick it up. But you have to either yourself or in a company, train a company to be risk analysts and be people that can wait for deals. When the deals are hot, when the deals are good, you buy them. When the deals are not there, you sit back and you look for other deals. That's what you have to do to have a successful Amazon store now. Amazon is saturated, but it's saturated because you could make a ton of money in it. It's competitive now. With the virtual assistants, 9 out of 10 people do not manage their employees in a competitive manner. 9 out of 10 Amazon sellers are not competitive sellers. So the good news is you do the work, you source your ass off, you learn a little bit more than the next guy, you find a little bit of an edge, you've got a place in Amazon, either by yourself, or if you want to step back like me and Tom, where we work a little bit less and kind of turn it into a company, then you can turn a bunch of assistants into risk analysts. And then that's how you're going to have a successful Amazon company.
Walk me through your step-by-step plan if you were to build this business again, and obviously if anyone wants to follow in your footsteps.
When you start your Amazon business, it's not going to be low inputs, but you can find the inputs that give you the highest outputs, which you've heard it time and time again, and 70% of people that start Amazon probably don't believe it, but it's sourcing. When you start, you just have to get your eyes on sourcing as much as possible. This applies to any type of business too, the way I like to look at business. Right now, I've run a different company too, that's a sales company. If I don't get in there and do sales calls and figure out how a sales guy works and think, it's really hard for me to give them good information and build systems around how do I make 10 awesome sales guys. So I got to get in there and do the dirty work, do the hard work. And luckily doing the sales makes me money too. Same thing with Amazon. Sourcing is our edge. Buying good products that make money, that's the number one thing you have to do right to have a successful Amazon store. So if you're starting your company, you got to put a lot of hours, I'm saying 20 plus hours per week for 3 to 6 months. If you can put 40 hours a week into sourcing for 3 months, you're going to be looking pretty damn good. You're going to start understanding just from reps alone. When I say sourcing, it could be retail arbitrage. You could even go to the store and do this if you like to get out of your house. That'll still give you enough information that you can take back if you want to do online arbitrage later. Or online arbitrage, which is, it's not watching sourcing videos for 40 hours a week. It's looking through products for 40 hours a week. So you can watch your hour or two of videos, get some new ideas, but it's not switching from this idea to that idea to keep a product finder to this to that. No, it's going on a website and clicking on a freaking shoe and going on Amazon. And if it doesn't show up right away, you try a tool, type it in, find the shoe, use the tools. Does it make money? Look at the Keepa over and over and over again. You could do that until you had $1 million in revenue. You could go a little bit shorter than that if you want to take it to the next level. But that's number one. Number two is I'd probably bring on an employee right away and I would source with them. So I'm already I'm developing my skills and stuff. I'm building a bond with that first employee that I think is so important as your second brain. And you're kind of double your effort here, teaching them and learning sourcing with them. So I think that would be a really good way. But yeah, putting all your effort into that guy. And now if you have you and a second brain, now you can start talking about how to build that into a company.
Final top tips for anyone watching this, wanting to build an 8-figure Amazon business, and specifically around teams, managing teams, that you would say, I see this not happening enough. What would you, any kind of final top tips you want to share? What issues you see?
Have it in your mind kind of approximately what you want. And a lot of that is not just dollars. You don't want a $10 million company that you're working 80 hours a week on. You don't want it. You're going to be trying to maintain it. It's eventually going to implode. What do people not do enough at this level? I'm going to be honest, man. We focus so much on our company. I don't know what other people are doing, but I'll tell you some of the things that we do that I think it just will always work for anyone. One of them is just goal setting and goal mapping. Dollar value goal mapping. This is this most simple thing, but is incredible results. When it's January 1, you throw up on a spreadsheet projections for the year and they look ridiculous. You're like, how the hell am I going to hit any of these? And you sit with your people or you sit with yourself and you're like, you know what, screw it, put it up there. And we make 30,000 this month, 50, 70, you put some sort of growth, exponential growth on there, mapping out your goals, putting it out there, letting your subconscious kind of absorb, like, these are the numbers I want to hit. If you don't track exactly on those goals that you put, don't beat yourself up. You can throw them away. You can revisit them, but set some goals, put them out there. But you don't have to make a huge business plan. The plan can literally be source 20 hours a day and then try to execute it. See if you can do it. No, I can't get 20. Let's put it down to 15. That's your plan for the first 3 months. You try to execute your plan and then you adjust the plan, but you have to have a plan to try to achieve that goal. You make these goals, you make these plans, and you hold yourself to them, and you're going to be looking like a different person, different company in a while.
You have a goal, you understand the inputs. Now the next question is, how do you develop the leverage to deliver the outputs?